This is the fourth class in Perek Hamafkid, which is a Meseches Bava Metzia on Daf Lamed Dalet Amud Aleph. Let's begin. So in the previous Gemara, we had a question: how is it possible for the owner of the cow, let's say for example, how is it possible for him to give over the rights to Kefil and Dalet and Hay to the Shemer Chinam when the Shemer Chinam chooses to pay for the stolen object, if at that point in time the Kefil and Dalet and Hay are not in existence? And the rule is, Ein Adam Makne Davar Shaloi Balail. A person cannot give over ownership of an item that is not in existence. So how does he give over the rights to Kefil if the Kefil doesn't exist? And Rava answered that the owner is not giving over the rights to Kefil, but rather, at the very start, when he gives the animal to the shamer, it's as if he's telling the shamer that if and when this item, this animal is stolen, and you agree to pay me, then from right now I'm giving you ownership of the cow. And as a result, since when the shemer chinam pays for the stolen item, he gets ownership of the cow retroactively, meaning it really happened earlier from the time that the owner gave it to him. So it comes out that he owns the cow, therefore automatically he gets the kefil, because the ganav is chayiv to pay kefil to the owner of the item that he stole. And therefore, it's not that the owner is giving the shemer chinam the kefil, but rather he's giving him ownership of the cow, and automatically he now has the rights to kefil. So he's giving him ownership of something which is in existence, which is the cow. And now we're going to have a question on this answer of Rava from Rabbi Zera. So let's see it inside. Maskifla Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera asked, if so, afilu gizayseha, also its shearings, meaning the wool that's sheared off a sheep, uvladeseh, and its offspring, nami, also the shemer should be entitled to. According to the explanation of Rava, it comes out that when the shemer chinam pays for the stolen cow or the stolen sheep, he now receives total ownership over the animal. According to that, it should come out that when the ganav is found, the shemer chinam should receive everything from the ganav. He should receive the animal, he should get the payment of kefil, and in addition, if there's anything that was sheared off the animal, or if the animal has offspring, it should also go to the shemer chinam, because he really owned the animal from the time that the owner gave it to him. And the problem now is, Alama Tanya, why does it say in a brisa that the shemer chinam gets everything chutz except migizei from the shearings of the wool, uvladei and the offspring? According to Rava, the shemer chinam should get those as well. And therefore Rabbi Zera gives a different explanation. Elo Amar Rabbi Zera, rather Rabbi Zera said, and it's very similar to Rava, Nasa, it's made ka'imrla, as if he told him, when he gave him the sheep, it's as if he told him, if and when it's stolen, and you decide to pay me, I'm going to give you complete ownership of the sheep or the cow, chutz megizei, except for the shearing and the offspring. So Rabbi Zera is really saying basically the same thing as Rava, just to address the problem. He says that what the owner is telling the shemer chinam is the same as Rava, but he's adding another clause, and that is, you get everything except for the shearing and the offspring. And now the Gemara is going to ask a question on this that Rabbi Zera said. Umay Paska, what made him decide this? That this is what every person has in mind when he gives over his animal to a shemer. That he's agreeing that if and when it's stolen and the shemer agrees to pay him, he's going to give him all complete ownership over the animal except for the shearing and offspring. Why would we say that that's what every single person has in mind? It makes sense that every person has in mind to give over the animal because he's getting something significant in exchange. The animal was stolen. He doesn't know if he's ever going to get it back. So if the shemer is willing to pay him, he's willing to give over the animal because it's worth it for him. Although the ganav may be found and he'll have to pay double and maybe even 4 or 5 times the amount, the ganav may not be found. So he's willing in exchange for getting the money, which is certain, to give over the possibility that the shemer is going to get more. But why would we say that every single person, when he gives it over, is having in mind that he's giving over everything except for the shearing and offspring? And the Gemara answers, Stama de Milsa, it's just, this is what makes sense to say. It's a simple way of looking at the matter, that shivcha da asam ma'alma, benefit that just comes from the outside, like paying double or 4 or 5 times the amount. It's not something that comes from the animal itself. Ovid inish the makni. It occurs, or it makes sense, or it happens that a person gives that over. So we'll say that every owner is willing to give over the kefil, the dalet, and hay. It's not something related directly to the animal, but shivcha de megufa, but a benefit from the animal itself that truly, originally belonged to the first owner, like ovid inish the makni. It doesn't happen, it doesn't occur that a person gives that over. The owner is not willing to give that up. Why should the shemer chinam get that additional benefit? And therefore, when the owner is giving it over to the shemer chinam and telling him it's as if he's telling him. We're saying that this is what every owner has in mind because it's worth it for him. That if and when it's stolen, and you decide to pay me, I'll give you ownership over the animal. He means the animal and external benefits that result. But I'm withholding from you the benefits that come from the animal itself, which would refer to if they sheared wool off the animal or if there were offspring. And that's the whole Gemara. So we had a question on the answer of Rava. Rabbi Zera asked the question on Rava. He provided his own answer. And then we had a question on what Rabbi Zera said, and we gave an answer. So if we go through the whole Gemara, we have a question, then we have the answer, and then we have a question and another answer.